Okay, so dear Dhamma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body. Keep your back straight and neck head straight in one line and your right palm on your left. So gently close your eyes and bring attention to this bell sound. And while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind, and relax your breathing with your thoughts. So do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the blessed one, the exalted one, the fully enlightened one. So dear Dhamma practitioners, before we start our practice session, as usual, we'll take few minutes for ourselves to understand how these meditation techniques can help for us to develop inner clarity in our day-to-day life. So as you know, life, the very nature of life, uncertain. And it always in a journey going up and down. And it's going up and down, and also it's going circle by circle by circle. So that's mean what? So whatever you go through, remember, it already happened in the past, and it may happen in the future also. So then you should not take it kind of like a very personal way. And at the same time, it happened in the past and it happened in the future doesn't mean it repeat the exactly same way. But overall, it's kind of like as happiness and sadness, worry, and the joy, pain and pleasure. So that kind of way. So then when it comes to that kind of experience, how we can handle ourselves, how we can keep the balance in the middle of happiness or in the middle of unhappiness, how we can keep the balance in the middle of the joy and in the middle of the misery, how we can keep the balance in between the pain and the pleasure. The very reason, because if you don't have this understanding, it's going to become the greater struggle to yourself. There is no end for this anything. Why? Because our very mind itself creates this struggle, our point of view. So it's kind of like that our own unhappiness has the resistance regarding our own happiness. Our own joy has a greater resistance regarding the misery. Our own pleasure has the resistance regarding our own pain. So that way, so whatever you like or dislike is not separate from you. But sometimes it's very difficult for us to come to that balance. Because always we have this dualistic mindset, comparison. So then that's why when we develop the mindfulness, following the breathing, inhalation and exhalation, or observing any kind of sensation, rather than categorizing, rather than mentally developing it, rather than judging it with our past experience, we just observe and see this changing nature. And the very inhalation sometimes, exhalation sometimes become very difficult for us. And at the same time, it is our life. So as example, observing the inhalation, exhalation. There was in a Zen temple, the newcomer came to practice meditation. And he complained, oh, observing inhalation, exhalation, very boring, tired, difficult and terrible. So then master took him to, it is close by, there was a lake. So the master took him to that lake and put his head under the water and hold it a little bit. And he was struggling to breathing. And then somehow after, few minutes, the master released him and he get out, and the master asked, how about it? Oh, it is so terrible. I couldn't breathe. And then the master told, see, when you breathing and just being with the breathing, you told it is terrible and it is horrible, it is boring. And now when you can't breathe, now you tell it's horrible. So like that, observing inhalation, exhalation is giving us the opportunity to see this inner nature. That's why we take it as a primary mental object, because it has a greater way to uplift your awareness. Because this everything is mind. There's nothing beyond mind. That's why the Buddha said the mind is the forerunner. But in day-to-day life, we forget that. We forget that, and then after that, we validate a lot of theories, methods, patterns, believing systems, and there are a lot of invisible powers beyond our mind, but we don't recognize what we experience. It is our mind, and they are very hardly that people accept that. People so into something else. And people want to kind of like experience so difference. There are a lot of people now, they don't want to be, they are not satisfied being human. They want something, they want kind of like extreme level of kind of experience. But the thing is this, when the mind has no capacity to keep the balance, how you going to gain kind of like the very extreme level of experience? People always like to be high, but they don't know how to find the balance. Just imagine you feel high in that level. If you lose your balance, what will happen? So that's why this balance is very important. And recently, I was reading that article regarding that the Europe, there was a guy and he changed himself to aliens. And he did a lot of, plastic surgeries and, everything. And he want to look like an alien. And then what happened now? The people reject him and he feel disappointed and he complained. People reject him. Of course, because, when you are not become a human, by the time what happened, human not going to feel comfortable that. See that sometimes we think to become somebody and we don't appreciate that human life. We don't know the very nature, the very behavior of the mind. We like to know a lot of things. So when it comes to meditation, what you observe through the experience, that by the time you are capable to see the behavior of your mind. Of course, in the beginning, we get the help out of the body, but it slowly will take you step by step, how deeply connected to the mind and the behavior of the mind. So once you recognize the behavior of the mind, you see this everything, that all the thoughts, that even that your recognition, the consciousness itself arising and disappearing. The consciousness doesn't depend on something else. And you recognize that what we experience, what that we hold as life, or what we hold as me, also by the time going to go away. So there was a, that the beautiful story about this mind. There was a guy look for happiness and satisfaction. You start to go here and there, and he couldn't find. He go, place to place, city to city, state to state, and he had a long journey. And then somehow, by the time that he came to a place and he got tired, he gave up everything. That's enough. I can't find any happiness or satisfaction. This is enough for me. I'm done. Nothing going to happen. So then he sat down somewhere under a tree. It was a very shady, green, healthy, beautiful tree. And that tree, by the way, that tree was the very wishful tree called Kalpa Vruksha. So the Kalpa Vruksha means, the wishful filled tree, that whatever that you have a wish under that tree, you fulfill that. So what happened? This guy was so relaxed and comfortable, and then he thought, oh, I feel so comfortable. And with that comfort, I have to go somewhere and find a place to stay for me. But how about with this comfort, if I have a little house for me, how good that is. So then what happened? Because he was under that, the wish fulfillment tree, and then suddenly little house appeared. He was so happy. And then he went to the inside the house, now that house under the tree. And then again he started to think, oh, how about, if I have something to eat, because otherwise I have to go and find something. And then suddenly that all the food and everything appeared. And then it is very difficult to cook for me. How about if there is someone else for me as a, butler, if there is someone else can cook for me. Then suddenly the butler appeared. And then he was enjoying that, and then he had then intention, oh, this is a very, little bit lonely. How about if I have a partner? Then suddenly beautiful woman appeared. So like this, whatever he think, he start to appear. And he thought, oh, this cannot be real. This cannot be real. There should be some kind of invisible power around here, because that whatever I think, it appears. Maybe there can be a ghost around this area. Then what happened? Suddenly the ghost appeared. Then he thought, oh, there is a ghost. Maybe that ghost can eat me. Then the ghost eat the guy. That's where the story ended. So what is that? This everything our mind, and not good or bad, whatever deeper that our intention, the desire, the visualizations, that everything is our mind. So that's why that even that from the creator, that when he created that the human, he left something behind us. So that is our imagination. So that the power of the God and the power of the human, where you can be the similar, same, visualizing, imagination. So if you can imagine something, you are capable to create it. So then you become a part of the creator when you are capable to imagine or visualize. So from where it comes? It comes out of your mind. But the thing is, are we aware about our own mind? When situations come, we are more into outside rather than the very condition of our inside mind. We neglect our mind. So that's why through this practice, we bring a method, we bring a very organic, classic way to understand how the mind behaves. So once you know that the very nature of your mind, it becomes a greater wisdom for yourself, that whatever, wherever you go, and within yourself, you have a very sustainable way of wisdom to maintain yourself. And that's why in the Western world, it's called know thyself. So because once you know yourself, and that becomes itself the power that you build up in you. But if you don't know that, just imagine, if you don't know what is happening inside you, so what will happen? Anywhere with any situation, we go behind, and finally we get tired and we get collapsed. And then unknowingly sometimes we go against us. So that's why through this practice, step by step, we develop a method to understand our inner behavior. So we start it with the primary mental object, which our inhalation and exhalation. So when you observe the inhalation, exhalation, and you just focus to the sensation, the most important part is just allow it to happen itself. Of course, in the beginning, it can be very difficult. Sometimes mental turbulence happen. Then the physical body bring the discomfort. And sometimes that we feel kind of like we can't find any primary mental object, or we can't settle down. It's okay. And just you closing your eyes, you should not get that, the final result. It's okay, just let it be. So whatever that go through, whatever that discomfort, or whatever unbalance, whatever the turbulence happen, let it be. Don't struggle, don't think, don't bring a version yourself. Oh, this should not be like this. Don't bring that kind of mental idea to your own inner experience. So whatever you experience, just allow it to happen. It to happen, and knowingly just wait. Then what will happen? It will settle down. But if you start to struggle and try to fight or resist, what will happen? That resistance itself creates another unbalance. And then we go again and again with that unbalance, which is not necessary, which is create a kind of like an unsatisfaction, suffering. So then when just settle down with the inhalation, exhalation, and whatever the discomfort, let it be there. Because that's the very nature of this entire universe. It is just not only within your body. And don't have expectations regarding, oh, the body should be comfort. Oh, my mind should be calm. Don't have that expectations, because the very key, listen this very carefully and try to catch it. The very key point, that your expectation itself is the disturb for your own inner settle down. That is the very reason for your turbulence. That is the very reason for your discomfort, your expectation. Your own thoughts has a kind of like a barrier, resistance regarding, oh, my mind should be calmed down. My mind's so busy. So when you come to the point to see, when you come to the point to have opinion regarding your own mind in the moment, thinking, oh, it is busy, that is the very reason to be busy. So that's why you should not put any mental opinions on your physical and mental condition. Just let it be. Find the freedom yourself. So then you need some kind of effort to avoid from it. Withdraw from that opinion, go towards that and put the opinion, go towards that judgment. Because we all, from childhood, we have a habit to judge our deeper inner feelings. We have that judgment. But the thing is that judgment itself have a kind of like a self-centered opinion itself, and that is where that things go wrong. So then start to avoid yourself. So that is the technique that you have to develop while you practice again and again. And avoid from, withdraw from the body, withdraw from the mind, and don't put the condition on it. Just let it be. So then by the time it itself settle down, settle down. And then you come to the calmness, tranquility state. So once you come to the tranquility state, our purpose is not being in the tranquility state. It is a one result that we gain on the way. But there is a more deeper journey that we have to go. So that's why you should not just settle down there. Your awareness should be more sharp and clear within deeper your experience. So when it comes to our five senses, eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and with the six is the mind, and there are objects with the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. There's always into that objects. But the thing is, deeper there is unknown, invisible current inside that us related to our consciousness. Look for something. It's a kind of like a project, visualizing, imagination deeper inside us towards this. All the senses go towards objects. And another thing in the middle of that each and every senses has its own consciousness govern itself, and then it's always try to find the best for its own object. Like the eye has its own object, and I always look for the eye. It's always look for the best object for the eye. So the ear is always, ear consciousness always look for the best for the ear consciousness. It's look for the object. The nose, tongue, the body, the mind, the same. But just imagine for a moment, just to get a taste. You have the tongue. And then you have the tongue consciousness. Just imagine that the taste come to you. So you have the food inside your mouth, you have the tongue, and how about you don't have the tongue consciousness? What will happen to that? Your all the opinions, all your mental formations, all your judgments. What will happen if you don't have the tongue consciousness? So then just imagine you have the tongue, you have the food. Just how about this surface level of this all, the mechanism of the tongue doesn't appear right way. What will happen then? Where your taste going to be? So how about the eye that you see this everything? So in the behind this all, there is eye consciousness. So just imagine if you withdraw that eye consciousness, that what you see, what will happen to that? So what will happen to that judgment that you bring? What will happen to that your opinion regarding what you see? Just imagine that in case that whatever you see, the mechanism of eye as the organ, this mechanism disappear. The eye is there, the mechanism, this is kind of like a disconnect. And it's a go unbalanced, not in the right place, but it's look like eye. And it's kind of like you dislocate this all each and every little that the organs inside, nerves inside. What will happen then? What you see? Just imagine, then you object there. Then if someone look from outside, your eye is there, and even deeper in you, your consciousness is there. But this mechanism of eye dislocate, what will happen? What will happen to the right now what you see? So then apply it to the ear, that what you hear. So just imagine it, in case if dislocate that inside that your organs. And let's just imagine the sound is there, ear is there, ear organ complete, 100%, healthy and work, energized. But just imagine what will happen in case that your ear consciousness is there, not there. What you're going to hear out of that? And what you're going to understand, or what you're going to hold as opinion out of that what you hear when there is no ear consciousness. So now we apply it to all other organs. Your nose, your tongue, your body, your mind. So what will happen if the consciousness is not there? And then you know that what you experience is not going to be the same. Okay, this is the point then. That's mean the object, the organ, the consciousness. So out of the organ and the object, that, through the science, technology, just imagine you can bring that to it. But how about the consciousness? So that means that the consciousness is something very major, important, place to understand that whatever from this outside world. So that means according to the condition of the consciousness related to our eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, that what we experience can change. So then just imagine, how about if the consciousness is not there, so you can't get the right experience. Your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, consciousness. If that it is not there, you can't get that experience. And if you have the consciousness again and again, kind of like maintaining the same way, what will happen? You're going to experience the same thing. So then how about in case you have the eye object, you have the same eye. You have the ear object, you have the same ear. You have the nose object, you have the nose, that the organ. So you have the tongue, you have the tongue object. So like that, you have that everything normal, same. But you uplift, you increase the ability of your ear consciousness, your tongue consciousness, your nose consciousness, your body consciousness, your ear consciousness, your mind consciousness. So then what will happen? What do you think? So you see something, just imagine, when you see something, you have the eye object and you have the eye, but if you withdraw your eye consciousness, what will happen? It's not going to be any experience there. It's just like blind. It is there, but there's no any kind of experience, kind of like going to deeper into you. So with the ear, the same. So according to that mean, according to your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, consciousness, what you experience can change. So then, if it is not there, you can't experience it. If it is the same, you're going to experience the same. If you uplift that, then you're going to experience something more beyond that normal. So because the thing is this, that as the thing that with our eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, with the object, with the sensors, that what we see. So as example, this cup, that when I see this, rather than with my eye consciousness, my entire attention go beyond my eye sensors to this object. And so then what happened? I already, when I go completely 100% to outside, I already disconnect from me, unbalanced. And when the sound comes, if I don't have the awareness regarding that my ear consciousness, and completely if I focus to that, what happens? I already disconnect from that. So the nose the same. When the smell or the aroma come, if there is a very nice fragrance, this is something that you smell, you disconnect from your nose consciousness and you go beyond that. So in that very level, as an example, when the consciousness is not strong, or when the consciousness not have the balance, so whatever you experience is not going to be complete. So what happens when the fragrance there, when the aromas there, when you go into outside itself, you create the unbalance. And with that unbalance, what you smell is not the right aroma. So the taste the same, sensations the same, thoughts the same. So our purpose should be, rather than that withdrawing the consciousness from the senses, being there, settle down there without getting disturbed, without go behind the object, just to be and hold it, the balance with the consciousness. Let the object to be there, let the senses to be there, but you become more balanced, calm down, you are more satisfied with the consciousness, the experiencer. So then what will happen? Then as a result of that your inner consciousness with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, and start to become more clear, that clarity will uplift and give the upliftment and the growth to your inner consciousness related to that senses. So then you are the same. You don't go here and there. You don't have any visualization. You don't have any imagination. More and more, you settle down with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, consciousness. So once you have that, always in day-to-day life, even though you interfere with the situation, you are more into that inside you and settle down. So then how you can get into this eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind consciousness? Because this all come together. There is no something happened before or after. That you're seeing itself happen as a result of that all these three things come together. So it's kind of like a fruit salad. You know, you eat kind of like a salad, vegetable salad. You know, all mixed together. But still, if you have that the ability to little bit settle down, not to jump and just but to observe and see, not to go with the thoughts again and again and again, not to go with the idea, just settle down and see. And that will give access to that inside your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind consciousness to see how it behaves. The being silence, being settled down, finding the balance is the method to gain access to that. So just remember, this is not a very academical way of practice. This is not a kind of like a very cultural way of practice. This is not a way of that you go with the hierarchy and dogmas, believing. It's kind of like that. This is completely being yourself and settling down and experiencing your inner feelings and recognizing without go with it, just observing, you recognize. So that's a very Tibetan method. So that's why we have to accept it if you want to practice this path. Don't do the mistake. Don't go with the books or the whatever the academical methods or the system or the chart, and don't try to bring it to your head and start to look into your practice with that chart. It doesn't work because there are a lot of people, you know, believe the books, go with the books, believe the methods, the patterns, and then worship the patterns and hold and hook up with the patterns, and they can't let go it. And whatever the practice they go through, what they does, and they go into that practice and start to glue that their inner view to that practice. So then what will happen? You don't gain anything new. Only thing you need is your mind. So learn to work with your mind. Drop that everything. Just be with the moment of experience. And again and again, see that very clearly. So try to bring the sharpness and the clarity to your inside, not with this anything outside. So that is the very way that the development of the vipassana. So in the beginning, we come with the tranquility state and the balance, the body and mind balance. But after that balance, and you bring that clarity to inside you. So we start with the inhalation, exhalation, and settle down with the sensation. And by the time that you will see that the whole sensation of the body with the sensation of the breathing. I will repeat it. The whole sensation of the body with the sensation of the breathing. So you focus to the sensation of the breathing and you be with it. And then by the time you recognize this entire body, go with that inhalation, exhalation. And go with that, it's moment by moment by moment by it change. So whatever the sensation you experience in that very moment, you drop it there. That is what happened deeply. Whatever you experience, you drop it there. You don't take it. That is the true nature. But what happens when your experience not become complete, when it becomes just the shadow, that you hold it to that shadow start to bring the picture to your mind. So that is what happened again and again. That's why we hold it to memory, craving to memory. But when you completely experience something, it's not anymore a shadow. There's nothing to memorize because itself, it becomes your life itself, it becomes your memory. It's a memorizing something and memory is two different things. So what we does most of the time, we trying to memorize things, but try to experience something. And then that cravingness of collective nature will disappear. So that itself will bring the freedom to yourself, satisfaction to yourself. So with that, let's get into practice a little bit now that what we talk here, so just try to apply it to yourself and practice it within yourself. So bring your attention to your body and scan head to toes yourself and say Swapatveva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. So bring your attention to your body and scan head to toes yourself. Say Swapatveva, or may I be well and happy. And take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge in this moment with this sitting. May my body become more comfortable. May my breath be more smooth. May no difficulties come to me. May all the success come to me. Also think for a moment. This is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime. And detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalation and exhalations. Do nothing extra. Bring attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, and around this universe. Also, as far as you can, through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe, and may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. Forward. Visualize yourself and send it as a light. To your backside. To your left side. And to your right side. Downward. And upward. To all six directions at once. Like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest, wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha. And also by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Ittavatacha sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Imaya dhammanu dhamma patipattiya buddham pujemi dhammam pujemi sangham pujemi Attaya imaya patipattiya jati jara vyadi maranam ha paribundissami Idam me punya kammang asavakkaya van hotu sabba dukkha pamunchatu. Bless you.